and if we could just do 5%, it's about a $4 million increase in value. Maybe closer to 5.
Raising money for that perfect deal? Well, let's talk about it. This is Pitchdeck News for Real Estate with Brad Strickland and Rob Garrett. Anything else before we deem it a new episode?
Nope, I don't think so.
Are you good?
I'm good. I'm excited.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, welcome back to the Pitchdeck News for Real Estate with Brad Strickland, Rob Garrett. We are going to have a little more fun conversation. I think where we left off on the last episode is we were going through these 7 questions that just kind of came to me that we need to work through with any pitch deck. We could recap on them, but it's not hard to go back and watch. So to save our time, we're going to just pick up where we left off. There are definitely some headlines going on right now. This week, I'm seeing both polar extremes. I'm seeing doom and gloom in commercial. I'm also seeing it was doom and gloom, but now it's not doom and gloom. So how do we navigate that? How important is that to us? I always think of the doom and gloom, and I look at all the success stories that came from doom and gloom. Walt Disney, the biggest glaring success story of the Great Depression. So sure. People with vision, Walt Disney, can succeed regardless of what the economics are telling you. So how does that apply to pitch decks? How do we get projects funded from the assisted living all the way to the hotels and everything in between? We have multifamily on the table today with Rob. Sure. And I think that's a tee up for you, Rob. What do you want to bring up for this episode?
No, it's a great point. We're in definitely a weird time. And there's a lot of instability. There's a lot of volatility, in the marketplace right now. A lot of guys are just unsure of what's going to happen. And so, which means that a lot of your larger institutional investors have pulled back and they're being very, very selective.
Very.
Especially in new development. And they're being very selective on what projects they want to do, if any. And so I think it's more important now than ever to have your project stand apart, have it stand out. What makes your project different? That's what I'm thinking through on my projects. What makes them different? What gets somebody excited to invest in these deals, right? Because every deal, the economics work. They should. If they don't, I'm not sure what you're doing.
Yeah, of course.
So how do we make our deals stand out? How do we get guys excited? And I will say this: we are in a valley right now. I had a good friend tell me, I don't remember if I said this on the last podcast or not, but you can't ride the highs unless you start in the valleys. Ooh. And if you start in the highs, then you're going to miss it. And so we're starting in the valley. I am particularly bullish on development right now. Specifically multifamily, because that's what I'm doing. So specifically talking about multifamily, I'm bullish on it because a lot of guys are either pulling back or they just are having trouble funding deals, which look, I get it. I'm in the same boat. But if you can get your deal funded, get it out of the ground, I mean, you'll be opening with nobody else.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a huge selling point in itself.
Right.
But eventually other people are going to come along. And so we got to create projects that are different, that stand out in the marketplace. And so I think the EQ score is a great way to go about figuring that out, right? Because, we can all, a lot of people can build multifamily projects. A lot of people can build residential projects
all day.
But what makes them different? Because we can't predict the market.
Nope.
We can't predict what's going to happen. I started Kana in January of 2022. Okay. No idea I'd be sitting here in October of 2023 still trying to get funded.
Right.
Didn't know, maybe I should have seen what was coming, but I didn't.
No.
And so here we are. And so, part of being a developer, part of being an entrepreneur is just figuring things out. It's solving problems.
Yeah.
And
right.
So this is a problem we got to solve.
Yeah.
My problem I got to solve right now. I've got a great project at a great site. I've got great partners, got a great construction team, great architects. Now I got to get it funded. And so
you already have great momentum. It's not even like you're at the beginning. You've got a lot of good pieces on your puzzle. And so do a lot of other fellas, but and ladies. I mean, just generic developers in general. Yeah, you brought up the EQ score, and that was something that I'd created. It's kind of like a inner secret talk, but we don't need it to stay a secret. I'd
Right.
come up with this, and I mentioned it in the previous. I think we've already tapped on it, but you and I already understand that there needed to be a statistical Excel spreadsheet kind of guy, kind of like saying, why is this different? What makes it different? So the EQ score was emotionally provoking and obviously unique with distinction. And so I have a actual what an appraisal does. He takes pictures of comps and he looks at previous sales and all this other stuff.
Sure.
It's an EQ score that rates it up to 1600, and anything over 1100 score, it gets talked about. It's so unique that people talk about it. And so you need that built-in society helping you. If society's not talking about you, even in the smallest form, if let's say you're an assisted living facility and a couple go and they tour the facility, you need them talking to all their friends like, oh, we found the perfect place for mom to hang out. Like, we found a great place. With your facility, with your project being a multi-housing, how do you stand out? You only have a few competitors, so it's super easy for you to win. You got 296, actually 295 with the presidential suite, which gets into some of the EQ score. So that EQ score is rating your project. Right. From everything from your emotions that you hit, what type of emotions and at what level. When we toured properties that I've designed, I will literally almost notepad every time somebody goes, oh, that emotional, like, oh my gosh, this is cool. And we literally, I've had women jump up and down. I've had kids go, when I grow up, I want to buy a BoMoSo, not a new home, but a BoMoSo. So when we hear that, we know we're winning. So if people aren't going, ooh, that's cool, those kind of a visual cues, like, and so that is got to be measured somehow. And so the only people that are really qualified to do an EQ score, which I haven't let out the bag, I keep it internal, but it's now done. Rob is the first BoMoSo engagement outside of my clients, right? You're going to be the rock star. We're doing the case study. Follow along. We're pretty into it now. But the thing is, when you have a high emotional, high EQ score, you're unique, and you're provoking all these emotions. It is the engine that drives it. For example, Yeti, those ice chests that you can stand on, you can fish. Man, hear all those emotions, man. The first thing I said fishing. I guarantee you, my buddy right now, Josh Travis, is already somewhere on a boat on a lake, and his brain just checked out because I said the word fishing. That's a trigger word for him. Other guys, it's different things. So hey, Josh, shout out. So you look at Yeti, and in the middle of a down cycle for their industry, who's ever going to be innovative? Who's going to have a high EQ score on a product? And that's a very good example of what a high EQ score looks like. It's unique, emotionally provoking.
Let me say this about Yeti. I mean, you're talking about a product in an ice chest, basically. How long have ice chests been around?
Yeah.
Ice chests are plastic bins.
Yes, they are.
Right? And I would say, it's not just the marketing. They've taken a product and improved upon it too.
That's right.
And I'll say this, when we're specifically talking about pitch decks and getting people's attention, I think this is important when we're going out to get investment, because whether you're sending your deal to a institutional investor or a high net worth investor, they're probably getting thousands of deals. Literally thousands of deals a year, maybe a month. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we got to get to the next step with them. Meaning they're getting all these. We got to get their attention so much to say, hey, we want to dig into this further, because they are going to dig into it further. They're going to dig into the economics. They're going to dig into the deal, to the numbers, to all of that. And so most people, I would guess, are sending their deals out, and they're multifamily. I'm talking about specifically, because I'm not, I'm not going to speak to other
for the rest of this
types,
day. You got it.
That's not what my focus is.
Right.
You're probably projecting 20 to 25% IRR. You get into 30 to 40%. They're going, this deal isn't real.
Red flag.
These guys are crazy. So everybody's going to be in that range. So we got to get them to the next step of, okay, I love this deal. How do let's dig in, especially I'll say in markets that are what we call tertiary markets.
Yes.
Oklahoma City is a tertiary market, it's a secondary market.
Yep. But people live there.
People
this
live
is the thing. Some of my world don't know that people live in those secondary markets.
And there's huge opportunities.
There's huge
opportunities.
No question.
So,
no question.
But I would say this, you go to an Austin, you go to a Houston, you go to a Dallas, now you're dealing with another factor. You're in a major market,
right?
But you're dealing with hundreds of deals.
Yeah.
You're competing against hundreds of deals.
Small fish, big pond. Yep.
My deal in Midwest City, the Maverick, I'm not dealing with a bunch of other deals there.
No,
what I'm dealing with is, hey, what's Midwest City? Why do I want to put my money there?
Exactly.
And hopefully I tell you why.
Right. Well, in many cases, it's just in many cases, just taking somebody by the hand and showing them that this one is pretty bulletproof. The returns are pretty solid, and here's where we're targeting our max out. We want to be 100%. We want a waiting list.
And we want to increase rents.
We want to increase rents,
higher rents in the market.
And that is completely doable. There's a shortcut to everything to the EQ score. And I'm just going to tell you the shortcut, and it'll help a lot of people in secondary markets, even in the big markets. And it's the Porsche residence building in Miami. Okay. You say Porsche, emotionally provoking. It's highly unique. It actually has an elevator for your car to go up to the 30th floor. Yeah. You have the Fendi residence. People a fan of Fendi, Karl Lagerfeld, and that they have the most beautiful residence in Miami again. Yep. Aston Martin residence just opening up on the river in Miami. Aston Martin. You see the shortcut. So you in a secondary market, there's no way you're going to be able to go and say, "Hey, Porsche, Bentley, the new Bentley building is fantastic, right?"
Yeah, I don't think Bentley's in the Midwest.
Bulgari Resorts. I can do this all day long. For example, Hard Rock Cafe was a restaurant that has resorts and casinos. Once you've established something like that, then you can shortcut with developers, right? There's so many Trump buildings that all they do is put the name Trump on it. This is before politics and all that. But that was a wave of development. You'd build a skyscraper in Waikiki, which I've been there and I saw it, and they put Trump on it. And it's not a Trump-owned property. It's branded. It's a shortcut to an EQ.
Think about what you just said. All these properties, Porsche, Bentley, all those. You talked about the Porsche building, right? Has an elevator that takes your car. Where are they? Miami.
Yep.
Why do they need to do that? Well, there's 1,000 choices of places for people to live in Miami.
Bam. They got to stand out.
And honestly, I mean, in some way, maybe on a smaller scale in a Midwest city, it's that way too. There's not as many choices, but people still have choices.
Yes, they do.
And so they've got to choose to want to live at my property.
Right.
Which goes into, we got to show these investors, why do they want to choose to live here?
Exactly. And that falls into episode 1 and 2, where I go kind of onto my philosophy. We apply it and it starts to look different than everybody else in Midwest City. So Pastor Michael, he taught me this about small towns. You wouldn't even say secondary. You would say third or fourth.
Yeah. Small.
Yeah. He said, Brad, because I asked him, I did a project with him, and I'm like, what made you want to come here? And I don't want to drop any more names or cities. He goes, well, there's mattress money. I said, what do you mean mattress money? He goes, there is a person in this tiny town with one intersection light, like a stop sign, that would love to have the new air conditioning unit, all the insulation, running water, everything that's immaculate of a new home.
Right.
Without going through the building process and trying to get somebody to come out to their small town. So he would build it because under the mattress was cash. And he's in a particular town and he sold that house. But when he did it, he found out there's 5 other people in that town that had mattress money.
Yep.
And so he built a second, and then he got third and a fourth, and so when you look at these kind of projects, there's mattress money in a different way in Midwest City.
Yep.
So I brought up Yeti. I'll bring up another one. There is in every single market, the little one town stoplight. I just showed you there's mattress money for premium pricing, premium project.
That's right.
Starbucks shattered the 29-cent cup of coffee from Exxon or Chevron. shattered it.
Yeah.
There's nobody in any market, high, low, that's not open to the idea of, I want a Starbucks. If my world, there's some people that won't do anything but Starbucks, right?
Sure.
They want that premium experience. They want that premium. It's still hot water. It's kind of brown, tastes like some nut that got roasted or a seed. And long story short, it's a cup of coffee.
Yeah. You just offended a lot of coffee connoisseurs out there.
I am a coffee snob. I got the Nespresso. Yeah. I've got them all, man.
Yeah.
I've got them both. But I'll take another one step. So there's a premium price for a product in Midwest State. There's no question about it. Okay. Sure. I got two things going on in my head. Whoa, you want to grab that?
I got it.
Nope, okay.
We're good.
Okay. So Dyson, the vacuum cleaner company.
Yeah.
Who in the world would say you could price $100 competitive product at $500? Dyson comes out at $500, and Eureka and all these other vacuum cleaners that are $100, $150. That changed everything because people want that. There's that mattress money. I want to be in Midwest City, but I want to be in the best. What's my best option? My bang for the buck ratio. So I look at that and I was like, I know what I can do with your project or whatever, because I've focused for so many years on it. I texted you. No, I called you. I said, hey, Rob, if I get a bump up in your rent rate, I'm going to set this up because this is extraordinary to the audience listening. This is extraordinary. I'm going to ruin it. No, I'm not going to ruin it. I'm going to let Rob tell me. Okay, so I said, hey, you already got your lawn care crew in there. You already got maintenance on the pool. You already got light bulb maintenance changed out every so often. You've got all your expenses. Taxes are covered. Staff is covered. All these expenses are pretty locked down. But if I can raise your rent rate, my goal personally is a 20% bump. But I said, what would that do to your value of your property if we just got a 5? Just raise it from $100 a month to $105 a month. What would that do to your overall value at a 6 cap, 5 cap, whatever your Pitchedeck is? And I'll let you take it from there because I wanted you to run real numbers.
So I did. I ran the numbers, just increasing it 5%, just the average rate. What the market is today, and if we could just do 5%, it's about a $4 million increase in value. Maybe closer to 5.
4.8. I have the text. I'll put it on screen. Right. Blew my mind. $4.8 million bonus. So guys right now are going out there in the market thinking they're going to do good, but if you really focus the sunlight with a magnifying glass called an EQ score, it can catch a leaf on fire of a $4.8 million.
Yeah, and here's what it got me thinking about what if, right? So I think more in terms of here's the market, here's what guys are going to underwrite. And those things are true.
Absolutely.
Every lender, every investor is going to start with what is the market. So if the market rent is at $1 and I'm projecting $1.50, I'm out of the realm of possibility, right? Correct. That's not even realistic.
Correct.
But it got me thinking about what if. So I'll just use a real life example, the Maverick, right? So the market rate right now, the average market is about $1.52 a square foot. That's the average rent of the comps in the market, which there aren't very many. There's only 3.
Right.
So that's the average in the market right now. So to say, I started sitting back and going, okay, so 5% is really not that much. What do I have to do 5%? And we start thinking about things like a pump track. We start thinking about things like a disc golf course. We start thinking about things like, hey, what if we had a presidential suite that's free for the base to use, particular Air Force base to use to bring,
top brass. It's a courtesy to the neighbor.
It's a courtesy, but it gets people talking. 5% is really not out of the realm of possibility.
No.
And by the way, if I hit somewhere between 1 and 5, I'm still winning.
You got $1 million because you took a focused effort to this. You really did. So on the 5%, we just went over Dyson. So who was the underwriter for Dyson? Who's going to say, look, the market is the market. It's $100 vacuum cleaner.
Sure.
Okay, bank underwriter. But we've already got orders, pre-sales at $500. When you come out, we want one. Same thing with who underwrote Starbucks cup of coffee. Here, you're going to finance this cup of coffee. It's $3.
Yeah.
The competitors, the market rate bank underwriters, 29 cents. This is where the EQ score is something that is independent, written off by, right now we can only use like art appraisers or jewelry appraisers. We can't use anybody in real estate.
Right.
Because they're broken. Not to be mean, but it's called industry incest. They keep doing what everybody in the same industry does. And I know I offended a lot of people with that word.
No,
but this builder hired this guy, and so they're broken. So when you look at the Yeti, who's going to underwrite that in the normal conditions? And you got to have that optimism, but also it's not that hard to say, look, I really want a nice cup of coffee. And back to the market we're in with the ups and downs. You teed us up this morning. I wanted to add on to that. When was the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago, right?
Sure. That
was the best time, or today. So if you want to have new product on the ground in Midwest City, which is swelling, needing,
right,
now's the time to get it funded and get it going. You and I both know this. So, okay, I ranted.
I
went crazy.
You're good.
Sorry.
Hey, I want to piggyback on going back to the appraisers and the what if, right?
Sure.
So we did this on First National. I'm not going to say what the rents they're getting now. I don't want to give it away, but we knew what rents we knew we could get.
Yeah.
The appraiser came in, and there's no comps for First National. There's nothing like that in this city. They had to go to other markets. They had to look at other things, and even then, they can't give us that.
No.
But we knew based on the product we had and the amenities and everything that's a unique product. I mean, I don't even have, I mean, we could talk about all the uniqueness to First National some other day, but it's unique in its own way.
Right.
And so guess what? We're getting those rents.
Of course.
They are getting those rents in that product.
Mattress money. There are people in the city that say, I want my office building to be, the top tier of this market. I want to stay at the Marriott in this market.
That's right.
The fingernails, the salon. Yep. She wanted the same exact thing. She wanted to be in a very fine product. So the National is a good, because you've experienced what it's like to get a premium rent rate.
Oh yeah.
Without sharing numbers and stuff, it can happen. And every market has that ability. You just have to beat your local competition. And I use this all the time. I don't think I've shared it on a podcast yet. But in the 50-yard dash in the Olympics, is there a time requirement that you have to beat second place in order to get the gold medal? You have to beat them by 50 seconds or you don't get the medal. No, it's 10 seconds. No, it's 0.001. You beat the second place by 0.001, 1,000th of a second. You get the gold medal. You're the only one in the market that's going to get those premium rent rates. Yay, you're going to raise the boat for everybody, right? Not honestly true. Not very many people are flooding the Exxon gas station for a 29-cent cup of coffee right now. You get to own them. You're not raising the boats. There's trash is still trash. 29-cent cup of coffee is still 29-cent cup of coffee. So
I would say that you do raise it to some degree. I mean, it will help everybody else in the market. It does help, but I
the city,
what you're saying. But I think to your point, only one person can be the top.
True.
Right. You can't have. There's not two winners of the gold medal.
Exactly.
Well, here's what I'd say to guys who are maybe skeptical.
Okay.
Skeptical, maybe, and I, not that I would say I was skeptical a little bit at first, just to be honest. You probably felt that a little bit. Like, I mean, I don't know if this is going to work. Maybe it will. But, one, I'm excited about it now. Obviously, that's why I'm doing this with you. Number two, at the end of the day, why not try it?
Why not try it? Yeah.
You're struggling to raise money. I'm struggling to raise money. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
Let's give it a shot. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, it doesn't cost you that much to do it. Yeah. It hasn't costed me that much to bring Brad on, and now I'm going to have a cool video. I've got cool ideas to my project.
Yep.
And we'll share this eventually. Now we're getting close to a logo, which I didn't have before, by the way. I didn't have a name before I started talking to Brad.
You got your logo yesterday.
Yeah. So we're at least moving forward with some stuff, and all of these things play together.
They do.
Right. All of these things work together. And so now the Maverick is starting to become real.
Okay.
And
Let me share on that logo bit. So if you've ever gotten into a Ferrari and just started counting how many times you see a stupid logo, you know it's a Ferrari. There's over 20 logos, everything from on the dash, on the gear shifter, the dashboard, on the wheels, on the hood, on the front bumper, back bumper. It's covered.
Yeah.
So there is a particular architect. He's in LA, and I've already started branding my products with the copper plate, but I'm taking it to another level with the Maverick. You're on such a special property with the Maverick, and we'll have the video, we'll show it, and then we'll dive into it on an episode that's coming. So this logo now is we're going to put it on the like most of the good ideas. I don't generate. I've just collected and compiled and curated like a really great radio station. I've curated some really great ideas for real estate and concepts. And this guy, he would etch in the drain his logo. And we're doing that. And the threshold, as you walk over, we're going to have a plate on the door threshold that has the Maverick. And you're going to know it's a special place, unlike anything in Midwest City / Oklahoma City. I mean, / the entire Southwest.
Anywhere.
We're taking it as if this is the preeminent, even though it's Midwest City, secondary market, all that. We should blow it out. 100%. We should blow it out. And that's just using a logo differently. A lot of people have it on a flag, over there with the balloons out in front of their, hey, we're going to lease up, first month off, free, whatever. Now, we won't need to do that stuff. So,
well, and I'll say this too, for guys that are listening thinking, man, this is all great. I don't know if I can afford that. I don't know if I can afford to do that kind of stuff. Number one, I would say I get it. Right.
But you can't afford not to almost. So Donna, Donna, you saw the text from Donna.
Yeah.
She realizes as a broker, now brokers are coming to me saying, you can't afford not to have a survey with your package. You can't afford not to have photographs of your property. You can't afford not to have your last year's income statement. Like you're not going to be able to sell a property if you don't have a proper vision, an EQ score. And that's where we're at. We're at the birth of this. So it's expensive, or is it expensive? You could spend 10 months to finance it or 10 weeks to get your financing. Okay, I'm sorry.
Here's what I'm getting at. Right. I agree with you 100%. Yeah. I think that what I'm talking about is you start talking about, thresholds, and you start talking about in the sink and those types of things. And those little add-ons. Those are additional money. And I've had to think about it too. But here's what it does. Because look, construction prices are high. We all know that. Budgets are tight.
Yep.
But it's got me thinking about, okay, as we're going to work through the budget as we go through construction. We're going to set our budget with the contractor. Mm-hmm. Some things are going to be a little more, some things are going to be a less. Mm-hmm. You're going to move money around. Now it's got me thinking about, okay, where do I need to move that money around to?
Yeah.
What's going to have an impact?
Mm-hmm.
I got to start thinking about what's going to have an impact.
Yeah.
And we're probably going to come up with 50 ideas, at least 50 ideas we can do. That doesn't mean you have to do them all.
No. And I like the way you say impact. For me, it's brain over budget. Use your brain over budget. So if you can do it for $1, but it gets you $10 of value add or lifestyle add, you do it. I got this from my dad. My dad was like, gold faucets. Okay. That's spending $10 and literally you're just getting $10. It's $1. Don't do it. He liked leverage, a fulcrum and move the whole world with the He loved leverage. 10% down. The bank finances 90%. He loved leverage.
Yeah.
And when you can take one of these 50 items that we're going to have towards the Maverick say, yeah, that's a yes, because it's spend $1, $10 in value add or lifestyle add. That's how you make that decision.
And guys watching this, girls watching this, ladies, it doesn't matter. If you've been doing this long enough, I know, generally speaking, what will drive that and what won't, right? What people care about, what people don't care about, right? Sure. And you're going to give me new ideas, right?
Of course.
I mean, we're going to come up with new ideas. Do people, look, I think architecture is important. I don't want to, but do people care? Do people care if I have a shingle roof or a metal roof? Nobody cares. Mm-hmm. I won't get $1 more in rent for that. Mm-hmm. Do people care that I have a pump track, something they can go use, a disc golf course, walking trails, whatever that might be? We're going to come up with all kinds of stuff. Yep. Now they start going, hey, this is, and they don't think, residents don't think about it this way. It's 5% more. They don't think about it that way, but they do compare pricing, right? Yeah. They are going to say, hey, it's 1,000 here. It's 2,000 here, whatever.
Yeah.
hey, man, that's cool. They got a pump track there.
I
Nobody's
like
going.
The way you're thinking, Rob.
Nobody's going. Hey, nobody's going. Hey, they got storefront windows in my unit. Nobody even knows what that is.
No,
they don't care.
No.
So what we're trying to do is spend the dollars where it matters.
What did I tell you when we were talking about? Well, when we first conversation before we realized we were going to have fun and team up together, I pointed out the power of a Starbucks location.
That's right.
It had nothing to do with your development. What your price of your metal shingles versus your asphalt shingles. Nope. It's a crucial decision in where I rent and where I buy a home.
Yeah. And
it's almost a 12%. I think it was like 12%.
Just a little plug. I'm 6 minutes from Starbucks. The Maverick is 6 minutes from Starbucks. Right down the street. That's
a value add. And the top guys know this, and I took it from one of the top builders in the nation. I don't want to ramble anymore. I see our time is a lot of fun. There's just one thing I want to wrap up when it comes to everything we're covering. The pitch deck is important to the investors, but investors won't make any money if there's no buyers or tenants. Okay.
That's correct.
If you have zero signups, zero buyers, or zero tenants, doesn't matter. It sits on the market forever. So where I come in with that emotionally provoking, like, ooh, wow, I love that. Whatever it is, that pool, that pump track.
Yep.
I got this really articulated from a guy named Ubon King. Okay. And he has this saying, which I've extrapolated, but it goes like this, and part of my accent. You can't make a good decision in the dumpster. Right? So if that is true, he would change hotel rooms. He would change hotels completely if the lobby was a certain color, made him feel bad. It's just like if you're not wearing your right cleats when you go play golf, you don't have the spikes. Right. You don't want to play the game yet.
Yeah, your feet hurt.
You can't make a good decision in the dumpster. If you're sitting next to rotten eggs and diapers, that's not when you pick out your wife, pick a career path, make investment decisions. So what we try to do, the BoMoSo philosophy, is literally put you in the best mindset using architecture and design so that you have the most amazing decisions, create results reward you, right? And so that's Ubon King's contribution to this. I just didn't want to go into episode 4 or 5 without giving him some love because he's passed away, but he was big influence. When you think about it, if your hotel or your multifamily property elevates the residents, their life is valued in that 5%. What's the check you would write for a better life? Like, I feel better. I like my neighbors better. Everything about my life. My kids have more fun here. I feel safer here. There's a pump track here. All the stuff.
Sure. And we do that for a lot of different things in life.
That's right.
We do that for lots of different things in life.
There's so many people going about this pitch deck stuff, not thinking about the end user. If you think about the end user, the other stuff falls into place. What's the story they want to live? You know. Well,
and I think it all ties in together because we have to tell the story of why people are going to pay us more. That's what gets people excited to invest. That story gets people to pay more. Does that make sense? It all works together.
Yep.
So
Dyson, Yeti, Starbucks.
Look, it's one thing for me to say, hey, we're going to get 5% more.
How?
Okay. Yeah. How are we going to do that? I mean,
do it.
Yeah. I'm going to build a great project. Okay. What does that mean? A lot of people build great projects.
Yeah.
Look, my competitors in Midwest City, I have great respect for. They have great product.
Yeah, they look good.
Great product. They look great. They've done a great job. Mm-hmm. Nothing bad I could say about them.
No.
So I got to be different.
Yeah. And you will. So, okay, guys. I think next week we'll probably have teasers of what's coming up for the Maverick. We'll show off some logos. Yep. We'll show off some of the highlights. Maybe a list of what's going to be coming. Maybe not.
I don't know if it'll be the next one or coming soon. We're going to talk about the Wilford.
Yes, that's going to be.
I haven't even broached that. That's another real life project.
Different conversation.
Oklahoma City, whole different conversation. We might even go through the whole EQ with that because we haven't done that yet.
No, we can do that. We can do that between the two of us. We'll just go through all 7 questions. Oh my gosh, we didn't get to the questions. That's what we'll start episode 4 with. We'll finish up the questions for the Maverick and kind of what got us here. Sound good?
And then if we have time, we'll show the video.
Oh, push me. I don't know if it'll be ready or not, but
I'm pushing him.
I'm going as fast as I can, you know.
I know.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for sitting through this. I'm signing off here. This pitch deck, this market, it's a challenge, but it doesn't intimidate us at all. We can do this. So
we can figure it out.
You bet. All right. See you guys later.
All right. Thanks, everyone.